about 5 minutes of this or so, just so that we show we're doing something. All right. We're going to cover a little more in depth the PPE, what type of PPE we wear, and what type of PPE some of the other, like for example, the fire department wears, and what are the requirements for them to wear it prior to going into it. Okay. Here's our objectives. Explain the need, the types, and how to select the proper PPE based on the hazard. Some typical hazard control. Typical hazard control, engineering controls, like we talked about, HVAC. That's actually a form of protective equipment that we can use to keep the chemical outside of the facility. And then administrative controls and personal protective equipment. Here's a question for you. Why is PPE the least favorable form of protection?
Communication.
Communication? That's one reason. Actually, let me rephrase that. What's the best form of protection? How about if we're all on leave? Right?
Right.
Let's just not be there. Let's just not be there. Okay? That's the best type. And here it is again. Best situation is just don't be there. Engineering controls and administrative controls, as I said. Need for protective equipment. What determines it? Well, like we said, immediate danger to health levels. All right? That's what determines whether or not we need to be there. Protective clothing, like we talked about, there's the dermal protection, which is what the video talked about, where to protect us against absorption. And then there's respiratory protection. And then the bees use monitoring devices to help determine what the risk is. Highest level of PPE. What is the highest level of PPE you saw in the video? Level A, right? That's what the hazmat guys wear. What's our highest level of PPE? C. Good. Hey, we're paying attention. All right. Highest level is C for us. Okay. Typically, remember that there's two different types of respiratory protection. There's the atmosphere providing, which was the SCBA that the firefighters wear, and there's also the inline hose. What are some disadvantages you might think about for the inline hose version?
Mobility is limited.
Mobility is how far you can go out, right, based on how far your hose is, so to speak. There's a possibility it might get kinked. And guess what? If that one source goes down, everybody connected to that hose is in trouble, right? It's hosed, right? They're all required, though, if there is a central line, they all have to have a backup bottle. And it's a little tiny bottle. You'll see it in some of the pictures here in a little bit. PPE helps you keep safe. We're stating the obvious again, right? Responders may be exposed, again, through inhalation, ingestion, absorption, and injection. Inhalation, like we said, we have, what was the type in the video y'all saw that we wear? The type of respiratory protection we wear? Canister type, right? And there was two options. There was the tight fitting, and then there was the loose fitting. Anybody know which one we wear?
Loose fitting?
Loose fitting, right? Well, actually, we wear both, right? For this purposes, though, we wear loose fitting. Excuse me, when we go into contingency, we wear tight fitting. Speaking of which, how come we don't wear our BDO and our mask for this? Why are we learn a whole new system? Anybody know? Seems like a fair question, right? Why teach a new system if we already have a system in place? OSHA. Our system that we wear to go for contingencies, when we go out to the battle, our BDO, J-list, our hood, suit, it's not OSHA approved.
The hell?
How does that make you feel? Right? It's not OSHA approved. Not to mention, what type of hysteria would it cause if we're running around in BDOs and J-lists around town? That's what one of the guys said in the class on Wednesday. Well, that would cause mass hysteria. Well, I'll tell you that if there's a hazardous incident going on, there's already mass hysteria. All right, so not a huge issue. All right. The degree of hazard, the oxygen level. What are some disadvantages? And I'm probably getting ahead of myself a little bit here. What are some disadvantages of the level A suit?
carry around that big
Big tank mobility is a huge disadvantage. Good. What else? Fatigue. Huge. What else? Vision. Right? Their vision is actually restricted to like right here. All right. This is a level A suit, by the way, in case y'all didn't know what it looks like, and it actually encompasses the tank. All right. So they put the tank on, then they get in the suit and press on. Level B suit. Main difference here, they're still wearing the SCBA or the line, but the tank is outside the suit versus inside the suit. Well, what would be the difference? Let me just take that question and turn it back on y'all. Anybody, any ideas?
You can recharge without having to strip the suit on.
Okay, that's an advantage, right?
Right.
What would be a potential disadvantage, A versus B? Why might we wear A versus B?
Well, B, I mean, when that other stuff, that tank becomes contaminated.
Absolutely. There are some chemicals out there that have potential to chew through the hoses on the tank, chew through the regulator, and basically degrade the tank so it's not useful to you anymore. All right? So we don't want that to happen. So that's the main reason why we choose A versus B. Level C. Our favorite, right? And then level D. This is what we wear when we go in a VRE room, frequently when we just touch patients with gloves, gown. Actually, y'all wear it all the time, right? Anytime you go and do an exam, you have your mask, your gloves, and your gown. We talked about this already. To recap, atmosphere providing or air purifying. What type is the C again? Is it atmosphere providing or air purifying?
Air purifying.
Air purifying, exactly. Good. What's that? Okay. All right. What the cartridges for the air purifying, the ones that we use, did y'all know they're the same cartridges that go with our BDO J-list type suit?
Yeah.
They look different because they're plastic versus metal, but they're the same type of cartridges. So the same type of exposure stuff, such as blood being a limiting agent to it, is present. Excuse me, this is the bottle I was talking about right here. Hopefully you wouldn't go charging into the scene looking like this guy, right? Unless maybe you're a maintainer, right? But that's the bottle I was talking about. That's their backup bottle or emergency bottle. And then here, this is the hose system they're talking about. Basically, it comes from this, provides outside air, and it just provides it to multiple lines. All right. Here it is again. Okay. This is where I want to talk about a little bit what determines what type of level you wear. So, this is the second time I've done this. I put the answer up before I asked the question. All right? I'm going to ask the question anyway. Maybe nobody's paying attention. If I'm wearing level A gear in the hot zone, what do I wear in the warm zone?
Level A. Level A.
One level below, right? Same or one level below. So B, right? Probably B, most likely. Which is what goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Do they always wear a level A in the hot zone?
No.
We talked about that, right? So, but now we know what level we could potentially wear in the warm zone. So if they're wearing level C in the hot zone, and their immediate field response goes out to the warm zone, what level can they wear? D, right? They can wear their gloves and their gown and maybe a mask, right? Good information to know.